Hello guys. In this section I want to talk about functions. It's one of the important things that we have in programming. What is function? It's a reusable blocks of code and it will avoid to repetition of a blocks of code. What do I mean by that? Let's assume we have, for example, print 1, print 2, print 3, and until, for example, 4, 5, 6. We can also have these kind of prints with for loop, but I want to talk about something else. Let's assume that we want to print this in our output, and we want this functionality and print 1 to 6 in 4 parts of our code. So I should write like this. After that, anywhere I want to use them again, I should write like this and like this and like this. Okay. So here, function will play the role. How we can implement that? Simply with a def as a keyword, and after that name of the function. For example, my underline func is something that you can choose any name, everything you want. For example, x, everything. After that, open and close parentheses, and here we define the function. And if I print them here, write them here, like this and this and this, I have blocks of code in line 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Here is my block. And I can use it everywhere I want without repetition of these lines of code again. Let me run this and let's see what will happen. Let me open the terminal. Python 3.8 or any Python you are using. Functions.py. So let me run it again. Nothing will happen. What's the problem? When you are defining a function, we define a function here with a def keyword, our name, and block of code. Okay, we should call this function, then it will execute the codes that function has in the block. How we can call that function? Simply with the name, my func, and something like this. That's it. And if I run it again, you can see I have the print of these numbers. Let's assume we want to have it again here without repetition of this print. As you can see here, we have these prints and these blocks of code runs 2 times because I called the function 2 times. And the codes in the block can be everything, can be for loop, if statement, and everything that we want. Let's have another example here. Let's assume that we have a function that prints a simple hi, and it will say hi to each user that, for example, log into our application. So we will need the name of that user, name or username, to, for example, print hi Hossein or something like that. How we can handle that? When we are writing function, we can pass argument to that. How we can handle that? Here I can say name. I want to get the name from you, and after that just want to simply have this hi and name here. Okay, that's it. What will happen if I run that? Again, nothing will happen because I didn't call this function. Let me call it and let's see what will happen here. If I run this, it returns error. Why? You can see and read the error here. Type error. My func, that's the name of the function that we have, missing one required argument. What is that argument? Its name. When we want to have argument in function, it's something that it will tell us when you want to call this function, you should pass the argument to that. How we can handle? Simply, for example, here we can have Hussein, my name. And if I run it again, as you can see here, hi Hussein. Let me run it again with another name. Have it something like this. John. And for example, X. Something like that. Let me run it again. We can see this print in our output without any repetition of that print. So usually the function is not just a line of code. As I said, it will be a block of code. It can be, for example, 10 or more than everything line of code. So if I want to repeat that 10 line of code here with an input, it will be cause a lots of line of code. And it will be hard to read off that code. So we are using function to avoid repetition and to write reusable code. Okay, let's have another example. Let's assume that we want to write a function that it will print the multiple of or sum of two number. Let's start with sum. Def my function again, and it will, or maybe let me change the name of the function, add func. It will get A and B as input, an argument, and after that it will print A plus B. It's not a string, it's not equal, it's plus, and something like this. So again, if I run it, nothing will happen because we didn't call this function. Let me start, add func, and call it, for example, with number 2. What will happen here? We can have as much as argument we want for a function that we are writing. Let me run this. It will return error. Why? It's saying that you are missing one required argument. Okay, if I don't pass this A, it will return 2 required argument that we have that you are missed. So let me pass 2 and 3, for example. 3, something like this. And let me run it again. And as you can see, we can have the phi as an output. It's a simple function that we have. Let's assume that we want to, for example, have the output of the function in a variable. What do I mean? I mean, I want to have a function to add 2 numbers, and after that, not print that value, just return that value in a variable. What do I mean? Let's go and let's have this add function again with A and B. Simply we can use previous one. Here we just have print here. It's saying that, so please just give these 2 number, and after that add them together and print it. Okay, what I want here, I want to have a variable here, and say that this C variable will be amount of this C variable will be the sum of A and B that we have. Let me print this C right now and see what we have. As you can see here, C is none. Why? Because in this function, we are just print something. We are just print this A plus B. If we want to have it in another variable like this, we should use a keyword here, and that keyword is return. Return something like this. It's saying that please do this, and after that return that. What does it mean? It means when you are calling the function, I will return this value for you, and you can assign it to any value that any variable that you want. It's something that this return will do for us. And if I run it again, as you can see, we don't have print here because I removed that and put return instead of a print. But here, C is not none anymore. And right now, C is the value of the plus that we have here. So let's go and have another function for example, multiple to variable. And the name of the function can be multiply func. It will get A and B, and we can simply write like this: return A star B, or maybe can have something like this. Let's define some variable. Result will be equal to A star B, and after that please return result for me. It will be the same approach and not same approach. It will give us a same output if I write here return, and after that do that, or maybe return, or maybe have it in another variable here, something like this. Okay, let me test it out. Let me test this guy, and call my function with 2 and 3 number. What will happen here if I run the application? Again, nothing will happen. Why? Because we returned some value in our function, and we didn't assign that value to anything and didn't use it. I will define C variable and will assign the output of this function, that the output of this function will be result variable, and I will assign that value to C, and print C here for me, please. Let me see. Okay, let's have another variable here. Another variable. And for the last one, something like this. And I want to print prints all of them. D, F, and G. As you can see, I'm using the function as many times as I want, without repetition of these 2 lines of code. Let me run this, and as you can see, I can see the outputs here. Okay, it's all about the functions. We can use it manywhere, manywhere, and write reusable blocks of code. Let's have another example. I want to have it here. I want to get from user a list of the number, and after that return minimum value in that and maximum value in that list. How can I handle that? Mm, let's define new function with name min-max, and it will get numbers, and simply I want from it to return min. We talked about this min function, numbers and max numbers. It's a simple function. So how can I call this function? Let's have some numbers here, number or nums. It's something that we call that array. I will talk about array in another section, and you can find the link. If you don't know about the array, you can find the link in the description and go through the array and know what is array. And it's very important that you will able to work with array. Just keep in your mind if you don't know. And I just want to pass list of the numbers to this function because I want to identify the minimum and maximum of that list. How can I handle that? I define some variable nums here, and it will be array of numbers from 1 to 7, and mean something like this, minimum and maximum. I also talked about this kind of assigning variables. I can have something like this, 2 and 3. Then the value of minimum will be 2 and the value of maximum will be 3. So in this case, when I pass something like this, it will returns the minimum of the numbers at first, and after that maximum of the numbers. So the value of the minimum will be minimum numbers and the maximum will be this. It will be something like this. If I write like this and this. Okay, but right now I want to use function and it will be like this. Let me simply print these two variables out and let's see what we have. Minimum and maximum. So let me run this. And as you can see, for the minimum we have 1 and for maximum we have 7. So I talked about functions and how we can pass argument to the functions. This argument can be a string, can be for boolean, everything. And the number of the arguments can be as much as you want. And we don't have any limitation. Okay? And as I said, and I want to mention it again, that functions will really help us to write reusable block of code.